Hey everyone, welcome to the Style That Finds Us YouTube channel. Delia Folk and Allison Brune, my mom, and today we are here with Chef Madison and we are teaching you, can you tell, to make Christmas cookies.
I'm so excited to be here, so let's get started.
Great!
Our oven is preheated to 375 degrees Fahrenheit, and we're gonna start by creaming some butter and sugar. I have 2 sticks of butter here. I use unsalted butter, so that will go in the mixer. And then you're gonna take 1 scant cup of sugar. Now this is really important. We don't wanna use a full packed down cup of sugar, because more sugar is gonna go into the recipe later. So scant cup is a light pour of sugar into your cup, and then there's just going to be a little room at the top. So sugar goes in, just like that. And so you're going to turn it on slow. I'm just going to let that butter and sugar combine. If you go really fast to start, the sugar's going to fall out of the mixer. You know, you're going to have a huge mess. So start slow. So once you see all the sugar and the butter start to combine in here, that's when you're going to bring it up to about medium speed. And you can go up to high too. I like to take my vanilla extract at this point.
You made this.
I made this vanilla extract. And I like to put about a full teaspoon of vanilla extract in it. So once your butter and sugar is creamed, you're going to take an egg and you're going to add it to the mixer. And you're just going to turn it on. About 5 or 10 seconds. And once it's nice and fluffy, in the middle, you're going to then scrape the sides.
It smells nice.
And then now what we're going to do is we're going to add just about 1 teaspoon of cold water. And then turn your mixer on again. And make sure everything's fully combined. You want to keep scraping as you're going to make sure that nothing gets stuck to the bottom. And then here we have 3 cups of flour. We have a 1/4 teaspoon of salt and 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. And that's going to go right into the mixer. But don't do it all at once, because if you do that, you're going to have a huge mess all over your kitchen. So this is going to go straight in. Once you're done making your dough, this gets rolled up into a nice tight ball, wrapped in some plastic wrap, and you're going to put it in the refrigerator for about an hour, hour and a half. You can make this dough in advance, which is great.
And then could you keep it in the refrigerator for like?
I would say about a week.
Okay.
And then you can probably freeze it for about a month. And if you know that you're going to be making multiple holiday cookies all season, you saw we had our flour pre-mix with our salt and our baking powder. You can pre-mix it, keep it in your cupboard, and when you're ready to make cookies, it's 1, 2, 3, and you're done.
Add the butter and the sugar and the egg.
Exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Yay! So we've taken our dough outside of the refrigerator. It's nice and cool. Are you guys ready to start rolling out some cookies?
Yeah.
Perfect. I like to create a surface where the cookies won't stick. Some people use flour, cornstarch, but I find the best thing to do is do a combination of flour and powdered sugar. And I do this because when you add too much flour to your cookie dough, they're going to get a little hard and too crispy,
yeah.
and you don't want that at all, right?
It doesn't taste
So
as good
to
either.
keep the texture of your cookies, what I do is I scale back a little bit on the sugar in my cookie recipe, and a little bit more sugar goes in when you're rolling out through the confectioner's sugar, and you also have a little bit of flour in there to make sure it's a non-stick surface. You do half and half powdered sugar to flour, and you just create a surface like this. Some people put wax paper down. What I really like to do is I like to just work on a cold surface. So you can use a pastry board. You can also use just your counter like we're doing here.
Nice and cool. This makes me think of when Delia was little and we did something like this and it would end up all over her face.
Oh yeah,
All over
it's
the apron,
definitely a messy
hair.
situation. And then what's nice, if we create a little circle like this, you roll it out, and then you can just keep expanding or bringing a little more in.
Oh, okay.
So I'll have all this on hand. Okay, do you want to do the honors of unwrapping the cookie dough? Sure. It's going to be a little tough to work with to start, just because it's been in the refrigerator. But as you can see, it starts coming together pretty quick.
And how thick do you want it?
Oh, that's a great question. So it depends on your cookies. For these, you don't want them too thin, because then they're going to be a nightmare
apart.
just to break apart. Yeah. So maybe you're looking at a little bit less than a quarter inch. Probably closer to about an 1/8 inch.
Or some cookies would take longer to cook.
Exactly. Now, one thing that's really important, this is why I left some of the dough over here on the side, is that when you start working with the dough, it starts to get warm. So if you do small batches, and then, it's much easier.
Right.
So this is actually perfect consistency right now for us.
Great.
And then we can just start cutting out a few.
Great.
Right? A beautiful job. You ready to bake them?
Sure.
So when I'm baking my cookies, what I like to do is prepare a sheet pan. This sheet pan is great. It's a non-stick surface, but just to make sure, I don't use butter because butter burns quickly.
Okay.
I don't love using canola oil for this. Instead, I'm using vegetable shortening, which you can buy at your grocery store. And what I do with my shortening is I just take a little
So is
bit.
this like Crisco type stuff?
Almost, yeah. So this is a little bit gentler. This is a palm-based
Okay.
shortening. And so you put this
get it
on
at
your
the grocery
pan.
store?
Yeah, right at the grocery store. You can also buy it at Whole Foods.
What is it called?
There's different brands. This brand, there's Nativa, which is really
okay.
good. There's a few others that make a great.
I've heard of that.
Yes.
Learn something new every day.
Exactly, yeah. If you're doing any cookies that are vegan cookies, this is a great substitute for butter if you're greasing a pan. It's also nice because with this product, it's not going to interact too much with the cookies. I'm going to take our cookies and we're going to take them off the counter and put them onto the baking sheet. You can use a spatula like I'm using here. So these are going to bake at 375 for about 6 to 8 minutes. Alright, so you both ready to decorate some cookies?
Yes, we are.
This is my favorite part about the Christmas cookie experience, decorating, because you get to eat some icing.
Yes.
Snack on a few cookies and make some beautiful decorations.
Sounds fun.
So here we have sprinkles and icing in red and green for Christmas. And we're actually using one of my favorite brands for decorating and almost any baking accessory. One of my go-tos is Wilton. And they actually made these icings which are perfect for decorating cookies. They dry super fast. Also, they made these sprinkles which come in fun colors, perfect for the holidays, like green and red and gold and silver. And we also have Wilton's royal icing that I put into plastic bags.
So is this the same as this, but it's...
So it's different. So this is a mix of just sugar, water, some corn syrup, and this actually has egg in it.
Oh, okay.
So this is a royal icing, which you're going to find egg in. This is a more traditional, just sugar
Just a
and water based.
consistency and milk.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes. And I mean, you're going to commonly see an icing like this on gingerbread houses, and it dries beautifully, and it's nice and opaque.
Okay.
Perfect. So now it's time to decorate.
So what happens a lot of times, moms are busy making the icing and everything, and by this point the children are frantic to have the decorating and the eating of the Christmas cookies. So when you can skip a step with this is just great. Do y'all have memories from when you were doing this as a little girl, Madison?
I do. I always did this with my mom when I was younger. And we would bake cookies and we would leave them out for Santa.
A lot of times Dia and my mother would cook together because sometimes Dia would get impatient with me and probably vice versa. Sometimes with Grandma, things would go a little more smoothly. All right, girls, cheers!
Cheers! Hot cocoa, vegan.
So good. Well, thank you so much for helping us learn how to make these beautiful cookies.
I had so much fun with you. And these cookies are so easy to make. Anyone can make them at home. I love what you guys have done with your cookies. They're beautiful. They have a nice abstraction to them. But really with cookies, it's a choose your own adventure situation, right? You can make them super stylized, or you can go all out and embrace your inner Jackson Pollock, right?
That's a very nice way to put it. So Dia's cookies and my cookies look a little bit different than the chef's, but that's okay. We tried, and there's certainly no pressure when you're doing this. It's all about having fun. And if you mess up, just keep adding more stuff. That's what I did.
Sprinkles.
Yeah. You break a cookie, eat a cookie.
Eat it. Yeah. Break it, eat it.
Yeah.
Immediately. Definitely. All right, let's try.
Yeah.
Oh, and also thank you all so much for joining us today on The Style That Binds Us. Don't forget to like and comment and subscribe so you can see more of our videos. And we would love to hear your stories about Christmas baking with your family. So you can tag us in your stories or send us the story and we will talk about it. The other thing is, in the description, we're gonna have the recipe for the cookies and where you can buy the Wilton products, the sprinkles and all that to create style. So thanks so much for joining us. Happy holidays!
Happy holidays!
Time for cookie eating.
Yes! Ready? I'll cheers you with the cookie. Cheers, cookie. Yum. I almost want to dip this in my...
Oh wow! Ooh,
right?
look at that. Oh, that's fancy. Oh, I got a lot of sprinkles in mine.
Maybe I'm gonna eat this one.
Beautiful.
Got a little chocolate.
Oh wow.
Cream.
Wow.
Oh.